Okay, so hopefully this will work. Welcome to another COVID hair vlog. Well, the first COVID hair vlog outdoors. Now, topics for this rant, are charging times and battery life. Firstly, speaking of battery life, introducing the Mitsubishi i-miev. 2009 build, 2010 delivered in Australia, making this one of the oldest EVs in Australia. I think there's only 110 of these models brought into the country of this age, most of them are 2012s. But yeah, this car is now over 11 years old. And as you can see, it still drives, got me here perfectly fine. Now, for some reason, this week, a lot of people have been complaining, or not complaining, but telling me that EVs are no good because battery life is 5 years. Or what happens after 10 years when you have to replace a battery? Why is it always 5 and 10 years? Who knows? Now, straight up, I don't blame the anti-EV crowd for this. I sort of blame people who simply don't know. Basic ignorance, I guess. You can't blame people for that. Because when people mention or hear of lithium-ion batteries, the first thing they think of is their mobile phone or their power tools or something like that. Or laptops. And they think, 5 years, I have to replace my phone that doesn't charge up, whatever. That is obviously not the case with EV batteries, because one thing EV batteries have that mobiles, phones, laptops, power tools don't have is battery management systems. They don't have active cooling. So you charge your phone up to 100%, it discharges to 0%. You repeat that cycle every day. The battery gets knocked around in your pocket, it gets dropped, not firmly managed. Battery lasts 4 to 5 years. Power tools are the same, very similar. An EV though, even this one down here, this i-miev, wherever it is over there, still has a firmly managed battery, albeit air cooled. It is air conditioned. Cool air is pumped over the battery when it's charging. It has a battery management system, meaning the computer inside the battery manages the charge levels on all 88 of its cells. Unlike your power tools, which have usually 4 or 6 cells, or your mobile phone, which has just 1 cell, this has 88. 88 prismatic cells by your sewer. Now, what has happened to this battery after 10 years of service? 11 years on the road? Or probably 11 years in existence, 10 years on the road. It has a range of 90 kilometres. I know this because I drive at 80 kilometres to work and back. I get home with around about 10 k's of range left. Sure, the car doesn't like that. It beeps at me saying recharge soon. But it still gets me 85 k's to 90 kilometres at real world range after 11 years. Can't argue with that. So, the car still goes just as quick, it's just as powerful, it's just as fast, has the same top speed. Nothing's changed other than the range. And essentially what has happened is it's got a slightly smaller fuel tank. Now, this had 120 kilometres of range when it left the factory, apparently. I don't know, I didn't own it then. So who knows, that's what the books were saying. So it's lost probably 30 to 40% of its capacity. No great loss. What happened after 5 years? Nothing, car's still here. After 10 years? Nothing. Car's still here, still drives, still does the thing. Still does what it was designed to do. Be a perfect little inner city car, cheap EV to run. Now actually these are probably the cheapest EVs available in Australia at the moment. You pick these up between $10,000 to $15,000. Even with the degraded range of 80 k's, they still do pretty much everything they're designed to do. I mean, this one, we use this now, my wife, Dr. Saylor, uses this to drive to uni every day. A total round trip of just 3 kilometres. Now, 80 k's of range, how often do you think you've got to recharge this car? Not often, once every 3 weeks, if that. Meaning the battery sits not at 100% full or not anywhere near empty, which I don't do anyway. But yeah. So the battery life, you probably going to last a lot longer than 11 years. Probably you're going 15, 20 years maybe at this rate. Who knows? We rarely ever DC fast charge it because there's no DC fast chargers around here. But yeah, I don't know where, like I said, I don't know where this Smith come from. 5 years, no. 10 years, fine. Nothing wrong with it. Like I said, it's a great little car, does well. Goes just as quick. 43 kilowatts output maximum. Though that is limited because of Japanese rules, being a K car in Japan, max 43 kilowatts. This car is perfectly fine after 10, 11 years. So when it comes to the myth that EV batteries have to be replaced after 10 years, straight up, it's a myth. It's a reason it's a myth, because it's not true. Even if the battery does have to get replaced for this vehicle, we can buy a second-hand battery from Japan at an online auction for around about $2,000 plus shipping. It's about $4,000 landed in Australia. New battery. How much is it going to cost a new motor in your car these days? Probably about the same, if not more than that. So yeah. Or the battery would probably get recycled into a homebrew EV, homemade EV. Or it could be used as a power wall in someone's house or their shed or whatever. Homemade power wall, who knows? In other words, it has an afterlife after its life in an EV. And it also can be recycled into yet another EV battery. It's full of lithium, it's full of aluminium, It's full of all the stuff that EV batteries need. It can be recycled. So, see, if you're after a second car, seriously, this is perfect. I mean, like I said, I've driven it to work and back every day for a while. 80 k's, it's done that fine. So think about what you actually do, considering the average in Australia is 34 kilometres a day commuting. Even with this, with a range of 80 kilometres or 90 kilometres, that's still 3 or 4 days without having to recharge. And that brings me on to my next topic, the charge times. Well, I recently saw a video on YouTube, a clip from Top Gear about the Porsche Taycan. He claimed in that video, apart from the 800 volt charging, which doesn't exist over here yet, that the car will, at home, take over a day to charge, more than 24 hours to charge. Okay. Well, straight up, this is sort of a bit wrong, because you rarely, if ever, never, actually, I don't know any EV owner that's ever actually charged from 0 to 100% at home. You just don't do it. Reasonings behind it. Okay, move on to the example of my Tesla Model 3, 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. Range of 500 kilometres. I drive it every day on a round trip to and from work of 80 kilometres, as I said earlier, which means it uses between 10 and 12 kilowatt hours for that daily trip. When I get home, I'm plugging it in, I'm charging it to replace that 10 to 12 kilowatt hours of charge. Not the whole battery, just what I've used for the day. I think that's where this sort of comes in, this thinking comes in, because you've got to think, it's not a petrol car, it's an EV. You've got to think differently. EV drivers have far different experience than a petrol driver. A lot of petrol drivers don't like EVs because they're thinking like a petrol driver. In a petrol car, you go to work every day. You fill your car up, you drive to work. Over the course of a week, a fortnight, your fuel tank runs down and you've got to fill it up again at the end of the fortnight, a full tank. Then repeat the cycle. With these, you go home, you plug your car in, you're only charging up what you've took out of the car for that day's drive. You're only charging up, in our case, my commute, 10 kilowatt hours. Now we have a 7 kilowatt hour charger. Pumped in 7 kilowatt hours into the car in 1 hour. I use 10 kilowatt hours to get me to and from work and back. How long is it going to take me to recharge my car every night? An hour and a half. On a bad day, 2 hours. No problem. Fortunately in summer I get home with good 3 or 4 hours of daylight left. Plenty of solar producing time to pump the solar into the car. So not only does it cost me nothing, it means my commuting is 100% solar powered, far better for the environment, no coal involved at all, and it only takes me an hour and a half to charge the car, on average. So you're never charging full empty, you're only charging what you need for the day. Even if you drive 200 kilometres, you're only charging for say 3 or 4 hours when you get home, not all day. I don't know any EV driver that charges, like I said, a whole car from empty to full in more than a day. It just doesn't happen. The other side of that argument is, what if you're going on a long trip? Well, we regularly do trips out to 500 kilometres in a day to visit relatives or down to the snow, because I just love the mountains and cold weather and snow. We don't go skiing that often sometimes just go for a drive for a weekend away. Now, using that example, during the week I'll slowly top the car up. I come home from work on a Monday, instead of charging it for 1.5 hours, I'll charge it for 2.5 hours. Next day I'll charge it again. By the end of the week comes around, the car's at 100% full. Now we drive to Canberra. The car, when you get to Canberra, might need a top up, because it will get to Jindabyne on a full charge, it'll be 5 to 10% full by the time you get there. I'll stop at Canberra for 5 minutes, the same amount of time it takes you to refuel a petrol powered car. Go to the toilet, plug the car in 5-10 minutes, get on my way. Like when I get to Jindabyne though, magpies. No, it's not breeding season, I'm not going to get attacked. They're not going to kill me today, that's good. Anyway, get to Jindabyne, the car might be at 20% charge. No problem. Accommodation, plug the car in, 10 to 15 amp power point. Enjoy dinner, a nice sitting in the spa, enjoy the restaurant, enjoy being at the accommodation and being in Jindabyne. All the while, the car's charging overnight while I'm sleeping. Wake up in the morning. Car might be at 50%, 60%, depends on the charge, if it's 10 amps or 15 amps or even a destination charger. If you get a 3-phase destination charger, you're going to wake up with a full battery. Repeat the cycle, drive home, charge for 5 minutes, you're home. So there's that. You rarely, if ever, like I said, the longer trip of 500k is you're not going to take much more longer than a petrol powered car. Okay, the situation is if you can't charge at your accommodation, not all accommodation has charging, not a problem. Like I said, 20%, you usually find a charger nearby. There's one in Jindabyne, we can top up for that while we do the shopping, or while we're around town, just plug it in the DC fast charger, charge it up to 80%. On the way home, might get back to Canberra, might need a 10-minute charge. crows now. Crows and magpies. Got them all. There should be kangaroos around here somewhere. Normally there is. This time of night there's normally kangaroos floating around here. I'm at Western Sydney University. Walking around in front of the Renewable Energy Research Centre. See the solar panels, the wind farm. Fortunately the wind has died off. I'm filming this for the 5th time because my stupidity. I keep forgetting to press the buttons. Hang on, speaking of that, I'm going to check to make sure I'm still actually recording the sound because that messed up last time. Yes, that's still going good. So yeah, that's a reality of owning an EV. Busting myths, but for some reason these last few weeks, these myths are just coming back up. I don't know why. I don't know where they've come from. Is it that Michael Moore video? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I have heard it uses very old data, 10-year-old data. Funnily enough, 10-year-old EV with one battery. So who knows where it's coming from. It's a myth that should have died long ago. I don't know why it keeps getting recycled, why it keeps coming back up. But that's the reality of an EV charging. It's not as long as you think, and the biggest problem I think is the mindset of the petrol car owner. How would you drive, how would your commute go if you could leave home every single day with a full battery on your way to work? You'd never go to a service station ever again. You'd only top up what you'd use that day. Simple as that. So yeah, it's been almost 10 minutes now. I'm getting us all boys. Though it is a beautiful sunset. It is getting cold out here as winter's approaching. And so once again, if you got this far listening to me rant and rave and carrying on, thank you again, it's very much appreciated. And also don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, the usual thing. Apparently it's an algorithm thing. I don't know, I don't feel comfortable saying that because I figure if you like my videos, you're going to subscribe anyway. I don't need to tell you that. It's just the way it is apparently in this YouTube era. But yeah, if you're looking for a second-hand EV, not this one, this is not the sale, we're not selling this, we use it regularly and we still love it. But yeah, a cheap second car to replace that, to do what you run around commuting every day. It's all fine. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, especially in this restrictions now been eased, yet the crowds are now forming again, so I think we're going to have the coronavirus second wave coming soon. I'm still not a fan of going shopping, but I do need a haircut, obviously. So yeah, I'm rambling now. Okay, goodbye.